Hello and welcome to today's live stream. This is John with WebDev for You, here to help you build beautiful websites without code in Webflow. So today we're going to have a bit of fun with animations and interactions in Webflow. I thought I'd take a little break from layouts today, and we'll just have fun with Adobe Illustrator and Webflow. So yeah, I don't know if I gave a clear introduction, but yeah, I do these live streams every Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, and we cover everything Webflow, from building layouts, typography, style guides, best practices, to interactions and animations in Webflow. And I also provide support via the super chat feature, and I review your website or your portfolio, and I can provide any insight from my perspective. Hello. Hey, what's up, Tazawar? Yeah, so we're just gonna have a bit of fun today with this animation. So here, if I hover, we can see that the text rotates, and if I click, it takes us into the site. So it's just a fun little quick animation, and it's fairly simple to build. Probably the most difficult part is creating the circle text in Illustrator, and it's not even that difficult, but it's just a nice little effect that could make for a nice intro to a website. Hello. Hey, Dale. Hey, Yao. So I was just going over what we're going to build today. We're going to take a little break from layouts today and just work on this animation here, where we hover over the button, the circle rotates, and then you can click in, and it takes you into the site. All right, cool. So yeah, I didn't write up the agenda. Let me do that really quick so everyone knows what we will be covering today. Hope everyone is doing well, and hope Webflow is treating you well as well, as far as building. And yeah, so today we're gonna build a circle animation intro, a text circle animation intro. Yep. So cool. So welcome, to today's live stream. It is October 7th, and actually give me 1 second. Yeah, October 2nd, 7th. It is a Thursday, and yeah, today from 12 to 12:30, we're gonna build a text circle animation intro. I'll field any questions about this build from 12:30 to 12:40, and then from 12:40 to 1, we'll just have a general Webflow discussion, and I'll field any super chats. All right, so that was from yesterday. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get started with this build. If anyone has any questions initially, feel free to post them in chat. This is going to be a more laid back live stream where we can just discuss throughout this build because it is mostly just creating kind of like this animation here. Hey, excellent. How's it going? Estoy muy bien, gracias. Yeah. Very cool. How are you? I know it's probably not easy with just chat and me with voice, but it's all good. All right, cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First, we'll go into Illustrator. We'll create the circle text. Oh, I also forgot to mention, this was inspired from this code drops kind of effect, where I think it was Mary Lou who created this. They just have the circle text, and I can make it look more similar to this. And then when you click, it kind of does this bit here. So that's where the inspiration came from. So I'll just create a new artboard in Adobe Illustrator. I'll make it 1,000 by 1,000 pixels, and we have our artboard here. So the way we create text around a circle is we first create a circle. So here I'll grab the ellipse tool, and I'll create a circle, and I'll make it 200 by 200. All right, cool. So 200 pixels by 200 pixels, and I'll align it in the artboard. So in Illustrator, if you don't see these different options, you can just go to Window, make sure you have the Align option available, and you want properties here as well. And they should show up here by default in Illustrator, I believe. All right, so let me hit Command C to copy this. And in Illustrator, if you hold down Shift, Command V, it'll place the circle in place. And then I can change the second circle to 400 by 400. And it didn't do it, so let me try that again. Oh yeah, it should have done it. Okay, so hit Command C, Command Shift V, there we go. Then I'll select that second circle, make it 400 by 400. Oh, it's because the circle has a fill of white, so we want to make the fill none. And we can see we have this circle, it's 200 by 200, and then we have this circle, it's 400 by 400. Okay, so I'll copy this 400 by 400 circle, hit Command V to paste, Command Shift V, and I'll make this circle 600 by 600. And then I'll copy this, hit Command Shift V, and I'll make this 800 by 800. So we have these 4 circles, and our text is going to go around these 4 circles. All right, hopefully you can't hear my dog back there. He's kind of flipping out a little bit. You probably see something outside. All right, so now we want to wrap text around each circle. So let me go ahead and do that. So under the type tool, so if you click and hold, usually it looks like this, where we select it, and then we have this type on a path tool right here. So I'll select it, and we'll have to click on the circle. I might have to step out for a sec if my dog keeps barking. Okay, he stopped. All right, so sorry about that, guys. So I select type on a path tool, and I'll select the first circle, and we notice the text is around the circle. So here I will select a font, and I'll select something different this time. So let's do this one. This one's a very interesting font. There. Both dogs here are doing the same thing. They hear your dog. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that sounds right. So let's see. And then I'll just change the size here, make it a little bit larger. And I want it to wrap around the entire circle. So there we go. We have that text. And this font only has regular. So let's try different fonts. That might look cool. So then I'll grab the type on a path tool. I'll click on the second circle, and yeah, let's just get kind of creative with it and just try different fonts for this. Would it be called like a wreath or something? Not a wreath, but like text around the circle. I'm sure there's a name for that. Yeah, I'll try this. It's gonna be like a very unique type of thing here. Oh, that looks kind of cool. And then we'll grab the type on a path tool. We'll click the third circle, and oh, that was a cool script. It's called Beloved Script. Nice. No, don't like that. How about Dido? Dido's cool. Let's make this a bit smaller, and we'll change the letter spacing. Wait, is that what I did for these? Let me check real quick. Oh no, I changed the line height. That's interesting. I actually kind of like that better. No, not the line height. Oh, I must have just changed the font size. Yeah. There we go. Line height doesn't matter here. Cool. So we have that text, and then we will add one more. So type on a path tool. I'll click on this larger circle, and let's do, I'm not gonna use circular here. Let's see. All All right, let's try this. That's kind of cool. So if the text is smaller, you can add letter spacing and just make sure it wraps around the entire text. All right, that's kind of interesting. We're using different fonts for this, and it looks kind of creative. I like it. All right, so we have our text. That looks good. So all we have to do now is, I'm going to put this text on a black background, and I do want to save it as SVG. So one thing I could do here, and actually I think I might do it. Yeah, I'm just going to duplicate this artboard with the contents inside of it, just in case I want to change anything. I have a backup. But what I want to do here is select all this text, make the color white for the text. So we can't see it, but yeah, the text is there. And actually, before I do that, let me undo. We want to select all the circles, go to Object, Expand, and then you want to expand the object and the fill, click OK. And that makes the text, their paths now, they're not actual like fonts. So it's actually just like an illustration almost. So now I can change the color to all of them to white, and you can see the outline. It's kind of like an illustration now. And I just want to save each layer individually. So they're in groups. So we have this first group, which is right here. I want to go to File, Export, Export As. I don't recommend saying export for screens because it exports the artboard. But if you say export as, you can, and let me just write this demo. And I'll say text circle 1. Oh, and I want to save it as SVG here. SVG, text circle 1. I don't want to use the artboard. So it's just going to clip the SVG, the artboard to the SVG. I'll click OK. And I did that wrong actually. So I want to hide all of them except this one initially. So File, Export, Export As, SVG, text circle 1, Export, Replace, and OK. Then I'll do the same, just show this text here. File, Export, Export As, SVG. I don't need to use the artboard. I'll call this text circle 2. Click OK. Then we have this one, and I will File, Export, Export As, text circle 3. Looks good. And then this one here. File, Export As, and we'll say text circle 4, and OK. So we have all of our kind of illustrations exported. So let me go into the blank project, and as usual, I'll start with a section. Just call it section. Whoa, I don't know how much that is, but that looks. Can you make slide in and out navbar on hover? Can you make slide in and out navbar on hover? Yeah. So publish, I will get to that for sure. After this build, we'll do that in the super chat. All right, cool. So I'll say section, and I think that's rupees. I'm not sure what the conversion rate is, but cool, section. And then I'll set the section to 100 VH, minimum height. And I'm not going to add a container because it's more of like just like a hero animation. I'll set the section to align center center, and yeah, make the background color here. I'll make it black, 181818. Looks good. Then in here, I'm gonna add, let me just reference the naming here, letter circle wrapper. So I'll add a div block. It's in the center. I'll call this letter circle wrapper. I'll make the width 1000 pixels and the height let's see, 100%, no, min height. Yeah, we'll set the min height to 100 VH. So it fills the entire viewport. Okay, I'll also set this to center, and looks good. Then I'll open the assets panel and let me add these SVGs that we saved. Looks good. So I'll click, hold, and drag and place this first one in here, and it's too large initially. So we'll call this circle 1, and we'll give it a width, the same width and height we gave it in Illustrator, which was 200 by 200. And we'll set the position to absolute so that the other images go on top of this one. Then I will bring the second one in and call this circle 2. Give it a width and height of 400 by 400. Oh, and I brought in the wrong ones. My bad. These are the ones I initially created. Delete. Okay, so let me go back in here. Here we go. Oh no, I was afraid this would happen. So it saved both artboards. So I might have to resave it again. So let me grab this artboard, and I'm just going to copy this into a new file just as a backup, and then we'll delete that artboard. Alright, so I'll just quickly save them again. And is it text? No. So object expand. This should just take a second. Hi David, how's it going? Yeah, so just as a quick reference, we're going to be building this little animation here. And it's just a nice little hero intro. Okay, so it's white and cool. So export as text circle 1, replace, go to the next one, export as text circle 2, replace, file, export as text circle 3, export, replace, export as, and text circle 4. Okay, cool. So let's try that again. Perfect. Nice. All right, cool. So I'll add number 1 in here, and we'll just give it the class name circle 1, and it'll make it 200 by 200. Then we'll add the second one, and we'll say circle 2, and we'll add the third one, call this circle 3. You want to set the position to absolute for all of these. So circle 3 should be 600 by 600. That looks good. And circle 2 should be absolute as well. Okay, circle 3. And we'll add circle 4. And this will be 800 by 800. All right, cool. So we have our text. And then the last thing we need to add is a button. So I'll just add a div block, and I'll call this enter button. I'll set it to, let's do 75 by 75. I'll give it a background color, something like that. Give it a radius of 50%. And I'll also set it to absolute. And there we have the button. I can add some text in here, a text block, and I can say enter text, and just type out enter, set this enter button to flex, center, center. Give it a font. We'll say Montserrat and make it a little bigger. Enter. I'll make this button 100 by 100. And enter, and I'll make this all caps. And give it some letter spacing. All right, cool. That looks interesting and awesome. So now we just have to animate it, which shouldn't take too long. I'm making it semi-bold here. Okay, so to animate it, all we have to do is select the enter button, go to interactions and click the plus. I'll say on mouse hover, we'll start an animation. I'll click the plus and we'll call this text circle hover in. And we'll just select each circle one by one. So I'll select circle 1, click the plus, and I'll say rotate. And we'll rotate it on the Z axis 360 degrees. For the easing, I'll say ease, duration 0.5 is okay. Then I'll just duplicate this 3 more times. I'll right click on each one and I'll change the target to the other ones. Oops, not duplicate. So right click, change target, circle 3, right click, change target, circle 4. Okay, so I have circle 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all rotating 360 degrees with an easing of ease and a duration of 0.5 seconds. And actually I'm going to change the duration. Then I'm going to click, hold, and drag so they all start together. So if I click play, you can see all the text rotated together. And I'm going to change the duration for all of them to 4 seconds. And then I'll give a delay to the consecutive circles. So circle 1 doesn't have any delay. Then circle 2 has a delay of 0.2 seconds. Circle 3 will do 0.4. And circle 4 will be 0.6. So they'll all start one after another. And we'll get that rotation. Okay, so I hover. And we have that nice effect. All right, cool. So I also want to scale this button, this enter button. So I'm going to click on it, say scale. I'm going to scale it 1.2 and we'll say ease. And I'll start it at the beginning or with circle 1. So it scales and we have this animation going. All right, cool. So let me see if can I loop it? If I loop it, it'll probably just it'll just play over again. Yeah, I don't want to loop it. Yeah, definitely. It was inspired by this here, David. I get a lot of inspiration from code drops. They just have like amazing things going on. And also they build a lot of stuff in code. So I like to see if I can rebuild it in Webflow. It's kind of like a good exercise. All right, then the enter button, we'll go into the mouse hover. On hover out, we'll start an animation. I'll duplicate, and I'll say text circle hover out. And let's try something interesting here. Let's say on hover out, we'll rotate the circle back to 0 degrees. I just want to try this. And we'll scale the button down to 1. And I want to see how this looks. So we rotate, and it rotates back. I kind of like that. Interesting. Let me try rotating it to 360. I just want to see how this looks. Yeah, I think 360 because then it continues the rotation even when the user hovers off the elements. So let me try something else here. 0. Oh, it doesn't have a delay here. Okay, circle rotate 1. Then let me try adding a delay 0.2, 0.4, and 0.6. Let's see. No, it works better without the delay. And let me try to set the easing to linear. Yeah, I'm in a live stream, Masha. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like what's the best way to repeat it. So we hover out. Maybe we just don't have anything there. Huh, interesting. Okay. And if I loop it, no, what tends to happen is the animation wants to play from where it left off, so it doesn't give us quite the desired effect. But I can try something here. Let me try duplicating these. Duplicate, and I'll just say duration 0, and we'll go back to 0 here on the Z axis. Yeah, let's see. So it should start over. Maybe ease out easing due to the momentum. Yeah, I think I tried that before too, and that didn't quite work. I was trying different easings and it didn't help too much. So here we're looping the animation when it's hovered, so when we hover out, I guess that's pretty close. Like it'll start over. I don't mind that too much. Cool. So we'll just stay with that for now. If I think of anything else as far as what we can do with this, I'll definitely let you know. Cool. So now what we want to do is on enter, when we click enter, we want to have the different circles scale in to become, or we want them to become larger and then fade out. So on mouse click, we'll start an animation. I'll click the plus and I'll call this text circle fade out. Cool. Thanks, Excellence. Appreciate it. Yeah, I just wanted to have fun today with animations. We've been building layouts for the past few days, so just wanted to kind of change it up a little bit. So we have circle 4. I'll say scale. Let's do scale 1.5. Duration of 0.5. We'll say ease. And I'll just duplicate this 4 times. Then I'll change the target. So change target to 3. Change target to 2. Right click, change target to 1. Okay, and I'll start them at the same time. And cool. I'll worry about the timing in a second because I want to do opacity as well. So let me do opacity to 0%. And I'll duplicate this. Change target, circle 3. Change target, circle 2. Change target, circle 1. Okay. And I'll start all of these together. And for the easing, they'll all have the easing of ease. Cool. And then I just want to add a delay. So circle, and the opacity 0.5 seconds. So circle 4 is the first one. Then 3, we'll add a delay of 0.2. And the opacity will add a delay of 0.2. And then, oh no, I wanted circle 3. So circle 3.2. And okay, 0.2, and then circle 2 will have a delay of 0.4 and a delay of 0.4. And then circle 1 will be 0.6 and circle 1 0.6. Alright, so let's see how that looks. Nice, that looks good. Then we'll just change the timing to 1 second for all of this, so it's a bit slower. Nice, I like it. Okay, and the last thing we need to do is we're going to put all of this in another div. So I'll add a div block and I'll call this, I don't want to call it preloader. Yeah, preloader wrapper. It's kind of a preloader before the user enters the site. And I'll place all of this inside of the preloader wrapper. And I'll give it a flex setting of center center for the preloader wrapper. And cool. So with the preloader wrapper, I'm just going to hide it for now. So I'll say hide. And no, not the section. We'll set the preloader wrapper to hidden. And I'll just add some text. I'll add a heading. I'll call this hero heading. And let's change the text. So I'll do Montserrat, set it to white. Let's do Montserrat normal, say welcome to WebDev for you. And we can add an image or something, get a little bit more kind of creative with it. Yeah, something like that. Cool. So we have that text. I'll go ahead and bring back the preloader wrapper. I'll set it to flex here. Oh, I also want to set the preloader wrapper to a position of fixed and full, and give the preloader wrapper a background color. So I'll do 181818, same as the previous one. And nice. So when we click enter, we're going to add a few more animations. So I'll go into the text circle fade out. I'll select the preloader wrapper, and once the animation is done, we're going to fade out the entire wrapper. So we're going to say easing of ease and an opacity of 0%. And then we're going to click on hide show, and we're going to completely hide the preloader wrapper. So it's not visible with the site and the user can interact with the site. Nice. Hello, Amkar, welcome. Cool, so let's take a look. We have the animation, I click, and it fades out. So I want the preloader wrapper to fade out a little bit quicker, so I'll just start it with all the other ones. Yeah, it looks nice, okay. Let's see, so we hover, click, bam, looks good. And now for the enter button, let's give it the cursor of a pointer so the user knows to click on here. And that is it. We are done with the animation. Hopefully no one got dizzy from the circles, but yeah, so we have it going on, and there we go. So it still could use a little bit more work as far as like how it repeats. So when we hover, yeah, because when you hover out, it stops, which is not what I want it to do. So let me try to mess with that a little bit. See if we can. Yeah, so I'm going to delete these and see what we get. So I just deleted the reset portion of it where it goes back to zero. And nice. Oops, looks like it's not publishing. Let me try refreshing Webflow. So hopefully everyone has some nice weekend plans. Taking a nice break. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Dale. Yeah, with Illustrator and Webflow, you can do so many interesting kind of effects. Yeah. I guess what we could do here, We could have it infinitely loop. It's not really what I wanted to do though. Yeah. Yeah, we could have it infinitely loop. Let's try that. Oh, can't undo it. So hover, mouse hover, and let's just grab these, right click, duplicate, duration of 0, go back to 0, set it to linear, and save, and then we'll just say loop. So let's see how this looks. I've got a ton of work this weekend from clients. Nice. Happy to hear that, Omkar. That's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know if there's a great way to have it like smoothly kind of change, unless on hover out we had it go in the reverse direction. Maybe. Just kind of want to try that. And so just bear with me for 1 second. Actually for this, let me duplicate this. Yeah, for sure. Feel free to ask, Omkar. Enter button, we'll scale it back to 1. And then we'll rotate it to 0. Yeah, we'll say ease. Duration of 4. No, not quite. All right, it was worth a try. Cool. We'll just leave it like that for now. I think it still works. It's still a pretty cool effect. And then I'm gonna get to Pavish's super chat. Cool. That was the animation. So I don't want us to keep looking at a rotating circle the entire time. So I think I'll just end the effect there. So just to recap, we created the circles in Illustrator. So yeah, first we created the circles, then we used the type on path tool. We added the text to each circle, and then we expanded the text to make them more of like paths. Then we exported each circle. We brought it into Webflow, and then we put them in a wrapper and set them each to position of absolute. And we rotated them. Then we added this button in the center, and we added the interaction to this button. We had the button scale, and we had the click going on and fading out the preloader wrapper here. Nice. Let's see how responsive it is actually. I want to see if it's responsive. Not quite, no. It would, yeah, because we set a pixel value to it, so I'm wondering if we set a percentage value, would that work? I don't think so. No, it would not. There might be a way, but it wouldn't be so easy. Yeah, maybe. Circle 3, let's try 40%. Yeah, it wouldn't be as easy. For sure, no. We'll just stick to the pixel values. Cool. Circle 2. All right, yeah, that was the effect. So Omkar asked, yeah, so now we can just move on to, if you have any questions about this build, let me know. But I'll also field super chats. Omkar wrote, I have a client from UK who wants me to integrate Calendly into his website along with some Zapier automations. I don't know what to charge. Scope of work includes setting up and maintaining it on a per month basis. Yeah, I don't know how much assistance I can be on car. That's highly individual as far as like how much you feel your time is worth. Um, um, yeah, it's hard for me to say on that, but Calendly is a fairly simple integration. There's a great Webflow video on how to integrate it. You can just embed it onto the site, so it shouldn't take too much time. But if they want Zapier automations, that might take more time. So I would just look and see like how much time it's actually going to take for you to do all of the integrations and what they want to accomplish. So I wish I had a better answer, but when it comes to payment and things like that, that's very individual, and I can't really provide too much insight on that. Cool. So Pavish, let's go on to Pavish's uh, just average rates. Mm, let's see. So if you type in average hourly rate for web developer, it's about 50 to 85 per hour. So if they need, depending on how many hours it's going to take for what you need to do, I would just charge them accordingly. Like if you charge 60 an hour, then and it's going to take you 3 hours, then charge, you know, close to 200, 180, 200. Yeah. For me, I tend to charge a bit more because my time is limited. So I do get quite a bit of requests for website builds, but because I do other projects and I have WebDev for you going on, my hourly rate is on the higher end. Yeah, no worries, Manuel. Welcome. Yeah, we just built this today. So it was pretty fun. Oh, excuse me. You can tell I'm ready for the weekend, huh? Cool. So Pavish, can you make a slide in and out nav bar on hover? Yeah. Okay. So let's do that real quick. And I'll just create a new page. We'll give this, we'll add a section, min height, so we'll call this section 2, min height 100 VH, and cool. And we'll add a button. Hey, hello. I can't read those letters, but welcome. I charge 35 to 45 an hour. Cart, yeah, I mean, do you feel that's good? You have to answer that for yourself. I can't, if the work you're outputting feels like it's worth 35 to 45, then yes. If you feel you should get more, then charge more. Like at the end of the day, after you're done working, do you feel like you should be charging more, or are you happy with what you've gotten paid? So like I say, it's highly individual. Like the hourly rate, like I saw here, was 50 to 85 an hour for web developers. So yeah, you can maybe go off that. Cool. So yeah, Pavish. Okay, so we have chat here. I'm thinking creating an online course about Webflow in Chinese. I might be the first guy to introduce Webflow in China. That sounds amazing. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but that sounds like a really great idea. Webflow is still fairly new. I feel like it's still in its infancy. So Pavish, no worries. We're gonna get there. If you charge hourly rates, depends on experience and expertise, among a few other intangibles for sure. Yeah. So Pavish, yep, I'm getting to it. Hold your horses. Can you make slide in and out navbar? Okay, cool. So I'm not sure what exactly you're going for here, Pavish, but like, yeah, let me make this section centered, and I'll just make this the button, the hover button. So I'll say menu button, and we'll set this to 100 by 100. And, you know, obviously I'd have to have more context for the actual site you want to build, but let's say we have this is the hover button, and we'll create a nav menu. So you said nav bar, right? Yeah, nav bar. So yeah, we can just do we'll add the nav bar to this section. Actually, we'll add it to the body. So I'll add a nav bar, and so the nav bar is down here. I'll set the position. Let me give it the class nav bar. I'll set the position to absolute. No, to fixed, and I'll put it at the top. Cool, so we have the nav bar. Let's give it a specific height in order to actually, no, we don't need to give it a height. So let's say this is the button. I'll just go to interactions, select the menu button. I'll say mouse hover. On hover, we'll start an animation. I'll click the plus and I'll call this nav bar up here. And we'll select the nav bar. I'll click the plus. I will move it to negative 100% on the y-axis. So it moves up. And I'll set it as the initial state. So initially we don't see it. And then I'll move it back down to 0% on the y-axis. And that's it. I'll give it some easing, maybe ease, save it. And on hover out, we'll start an animation. I'll duplicate the nav appear, and we'll call it nav disappear, I guess. Those are kind of weird names, but I'll remove the initial state up here, and then on hover out, we'll have it go back to negative 100%. So when I hover, the nav bar appears. I hover out, the nav bar disappears. So just to kind of recap, we created the menu button, that added the nav bar, set the nav bar to fixed. So you just grab the nav bar, set it to fixed here, and then you apply the interaction to the menu button. Go to interactions and have the nav bar be initially at negative 100% on the y-axis, and then move it down to 0% on the y-axis. You can give it a duration and easing, and that's it. And then on hover out, we have this go back up to negative 100%. Please take the reference from Simple One Energy Web. Okay, let me try to find that. Thanks for a reference, One Energy Web. Can you give me the link, Pavish? Please take the reference from Simple One Energy Web. I think I'm looking at the site, but I'm not sure. I think, oh, so do you mean a drop down? So yeah, maybe you mean a drop down navigation? So let's see. Yeah, if you can kind of give me a better reference of the site, Pavish, that would be helpful. You can send me the site via the contact form at webdevforyou.com, and I can take a look. But if you just mean drop down, you can just in the nav bar. So let me go in here. In the nav bar, you can add an element, and you can add a drop down nav link. So let me undo that and go to the nav bar, go into the nav menu, add an element, and add a drop down. So that, actually this menu wouldn't work at all. I just realized that the user wouldn't even be able to interact with the menu, so that's not a good interaction to have. But if it's a drop down, you can just have a drop down like this, and you can set the drop down to open on hover. So here, select the drop down and say open menu on hover. So when the user hovers, the drop down appears and they can select the menu items here. Hopefully that was it, but yeah, send me an email if it's regarding something else, and I'll take a look. But yeah, this interaction with the hover menu wouldn't work. You would need it to be on click or something. So Vince writes, what's the best way to build a mega menu? There's many different ways to build a mega menu. I think Webflow has some nice YouTube videos on building a mega menu. Depending what you define as a mega menu. If you have an example, I can take a look, Vince, of a mega menu, because there's many different types of menus. You might want to check out creating, let's see here. Yeah, like this video here by Webflow. It's a custom drop-down menu. That might help you build a mega menu, because the design would play a big factor into how you want to build it. Yeah, there's quite a few videos. Just type in Google, like building a mega menu in Webflow, and there's quite a few videos. But if you want me to build one here on the live stream, just give me kind of an example of one, and I'd be happy to take a look. All right, so yeah, just a few more minutes in the live stream. It's been a good week. It was my birthday on Tuesday, so we didn't have a live stream on Tuesday, but we've been building a lot of kind of cool layouts in Webflow, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. So if you go to my profile, you'll see the different layouts we've been building. So this is the one we built yesterday, and it is clonable if you want to clone it. And you know, it's just a nice little blog page. So it's always good to get practice with building layouts. Excuse me. And this one was fun too. We used grid for this. This was a good one. All right. So is it possible, Dale writes, is it possible to link a button on one page to a section on another in Webflow? Yes, it is possible. You'd have to include the hashtag to the section. Maybe we can cover that on Monday. But yeah, you just have to include the URL along with the hashtag to the section. So it is possible, but you'd have to use a link, like a actual written URL. You couldn't use like a page in Webflow, if that makes sense. But we can cover that on Monday. So Vince sent a link. Let me just check. I haven't gotten it yet, so we'll just wait a moment. So Dale, it would be something like, you know, if I had another section here, I had another section, and I gave this section the ID section 2, right? Then if I had another page, and let's color it. Let's say section 3. We'll say for the height 100 VH. We'll set the background color something like this. So that's that. Again, the ID is section 2. So I'll create a new page, and I'll just add a button, and then I'll link this button to, right, see I couldn't link it to a section because the section has to be on this page. So what I could do is publish the site. So let me call this page sample page, save it, and this page would be called sample page 2. Okay, let me publish it. And then take a look. So we have that. So what's the URL of this one? It is untitled. So we could change the slugs. Let me just change it to sample page. No, sorry. The slug for this one would need to be sample page 2. Okay. All right, so this is sample page 2. Okay, let me publish it. And close this, I'll preview. Okay, so let me go to the URL sample page. Okay, so we have this section here. So to get to that section, it's hashtag and then the section name. So if I type in / sample page hashtag section 2, it takes us directly to the section. So that's the ID we gave this section. So now I just have to go to this page right here, to this button, and give it that exact URL. So it's the page name, and actually I think I can do /. So / sample page hashtag section 2, and it should take me directly to that section. Okay, so I'll click the button, and there we go. Cool. Hopefully that helped. I can go over it again on Monday, Dale. So we do have the site here. So Pavish sent the site. Okay, so this is the site Pavish was mentioning. So menu. Do you mean like this, Pavish? This menu? If we don't get to it today, Pavish, we'll do it on Monday. Let me know if this is what you want to recreate, and I can do that real quick. But we're almost at time. It's almost 1 p.m. Central. I appreciate the likes, everyone. Definitely helps the channel. I'm definitely trying to build momentum with more viewers coming to the channel and more viewers coming to the live stream. Thanks, Dale. Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely happy to help for sure. So hover in and out. Trying to see what you mean by that. Oh, I see. Okay. I got you. I see. Okay. Yeah, this. Yeah, I'll do this real quick, Pavish. Yeah, I got you. I got it. I got it. Okay. Yeah, let's go back to this page. So all you'd have to do for that really is for sure, thanks, Omkar. Yeah, all you would have to do for this is me see actually. I'm trying to think about this for a sec. So we hover in, it appears. We hover out. Okay, I got it. So you'd want to add a div block and set it to top wrapper, I guess, or top div, and then give it a position of fixed and top, and then give it a height of maybe the same as the nav bar, the height of 80 pixels, something like that. Depends on how quick you want the menu to appear, like what area you want the user to cover for the menu to appear. So you could even do like 200 pixels or maybe 150. And yeah, and that's basically it. So you have this top div, and make sure it's behind the nav bar, right? So you want the nav bar to be in front. So right now the top div is behind the nav bar. To make sure that the nav bar in front, you could even select the nav bar and give it a higher Z index of like 99. And awesome. So then we select this top div. It's invisible essentially, like the user won't be able to interact with it. And then we'll go to interactions. We'll click the plus, or they can interact with it, but nothing will be viewable. Then we'll say mouse hover, and we'll start an animation, and we'll apply the nav bar appear. So initially the nav bar is hidden, like I showed earlier, and then we move it down 100%. So what's going to happen? Yeah, that's what's going to happen there. And then when the user hovers out of this section, or no, yeah, if the user is hovered out of this section, we are going to start an animation, and we'll have the nav bar disappear, but we'll add a long delay, right? So we'll move it back to negative 100%, but we'll add a delay of 4 seconds. Okay, so what's going to happen? So let me try this again. So we hover over this top section, and then if we hover out 4 seconds, the menu disappears. 4 seconds might be too long, so maybe 2 seconds. And let's publish that just to see how that looks. For sure, Amkar. Happy to hear that. Definitely. Cool. So notice initially we don't see the nav. If I hover out, it disappears. If I hover back into the top, it reappears. If I hover out, it disappears after 2 seconds. So you might want to, for this section, maybe, and let me look at this site actually. So we'll refresh. Yeah, so that's interesting. So what we can do, yeah, initially we don't want it to be, yeah, so let's redo that. So for the top div, we can go into the nav bar appear and delete the initial state. So initially the nav bar is showing, right? So if we preview the site, the nav bar shows. If we hover out, it disappears. If we hover back in, it reappears. So there might be more to this interaction to get it perfect, because you notice like when I hover over the nav bar, it doesn't perfectly come in. So yeah, there might be a little bit more to this. Yeah. Like you might have to add, yeah, that's essentially how you create it. Like you can think of other creative ways to make it work perfectly. But what you can do as well, you can start a page load animation. And when the page finishes loading, we'll start an animation. I'll click the plus. I'll say navbar initial. My names aren't great today. So navbar initially, we'll move it to negative 100%. Set it as the initial state, and then we'll move it down to 0%, easing of ease, and 0.5, and then save. So when the page loads, the nav bar comes in, and let's give it a duration of 1 second. So publish, for sure, yeah. So nav bar comes in, I hover in, hover out. Yeah, I would play with this. I mean, it's not perfect, but you can maybe add, in the nav bar, you could add this top div in there. Yeah, so I would add the top div inside of the nav bar. So the top div is kind of an extension of the nav bar. It's right below it. And I could even set this top div to relative. Yeah. I could do something like that. Or maybe, no, we'll have it be fixed. Yeah, have it be fixed. And have it be inside of the nav bar. Yeah, that's the way to do it actually. Because this way, like, when you interact with the nav bar, it all works seamlessly. Like, it doesn't stop when you hover over the nav bar. So we hover over that section, hover out. Perfect. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Cool. So let's take a look. So on load, we have the nav bar coming in. We hover out, the nav bar closes, hover back in, the nav bar reappears, and looks good. And you could change the height of this top div. So I have it at 150. And yeah, just make sure that the top div is inside of the nav bar at the top. So both the top div and the nav bar are positioned fixed and to the top, but the top div has more height than the nav bar. So when the user hovers in this general area, the nav bar will reappear. And when they hover out of this general area, the nav bar will disappear. So I think we got pretty close. So nav bar comes in, we hover out, nav bar disappears. I think. Well, it's not disappearing now, so I don't know what that's about. But what? Pixel? Whoa. Yo. What's up, Nelson? How can I get? Nah, you're the OG, Nelson. I can't. Yeah, everyone here knows Nelson, so I'm humbled and honored, I guess is the word. I don't know if humble is the word, but honored that you came into my live chat. You're the OG, the original gangsta. I don't know if I can say it that way, but yeah, hope all is going well. Nelson at Webflow. Yeah, for those of you who don't know Pixel Geek, he has tons of videos on YouTube. I personally learned from him when I first started getting into Webflow. So yeah, just happy to be passing on this info, and yeah, super cool. Appreciate the super chat for sure. But yeah, we built this interaction today, and this was fun. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I worked with Nelson in at Webflow, and that was super cool. Yeah, you don't expect to see like all the people you learned from, you, like, talk to them live, and once you're like, part of the team, it's just like a different experience. Yeah, thank you, Nelson. Yeah, I like what I think. Yeah, what you and Waldo are doing as far as the community. I feel the community needs a lot of attention. So yeah, I felt like live streams was a way to kind help the community a bit more. And, with Webflow gaining more traction, I felt like I wanted to do something kind of creative like this. So, yeah, look, everyone knows Nelson. Yeah. Yeah, your stream is attracting celebs now, for sure. Let's see if we can get McGuire up in here at some point. Um, yeah, when I met McGuire, that was pretty cool because I had learned from McGuire. I watched like all his videos, and then I met him in San Francisco, and that was just a really cool experience. Um, so yeah, very cool. Yeah, let's get all the Webflow peeps up in here, the whole Webflow team. Just introduce themselves, and I'll see if I can set up maybe like live streams where, maybe some interviews or having more people from Webflow come in. I still feel like my live streams are in their infancy, so I don't know how far out that would be, but that would be very cool. Nice. Yeah, Joe from FinSuite, that would be cool. Wow, I'm starting to think a little bit broader now, like having different people from Webflow. Actually, from what's his name from MemberStack, that would be cool. I met with him a few times. I'm really bad with names, so excuse me on that. But McGuire is way too busy. The education team is doing a lot of things behind the scenes. Yeah, I figured. McGuire is like, yeah, he's kind of a celeb. Yeah. Yeah, you guys should do some live streams together. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, thanks, Manuel. Appreciate it. Oh, I appreciate the love. Yeah. You all aren't ready for no code conf. It's gonna be mind blowing. Yep, definitely. Yeah, I was thinking of going this time around, Nelson. I won't be able to make it this time, but if there's one next year, I'm definitely gonna be at the one next year. Yeah, everyone's been asking me like what's gonna happen at No Code Conf. I can't really say too much about it, so yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel kind of weird that I'm the only one on camera right now because like everyone's in chat and I'm the only one like on camera, but it's all good. Cool. Well, thanks everyone. It is past one. Appreciate all the love. Thank you, Nelson, for joining. Uh, yeah, it's just been a lot of fun doing these live streams, and yeah, I do them every Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And yeah, definitely appreciate it. Yeah, spread the word at Webflow. I'm sure a lot of people at Webflow know about the live streams. I definitely talk to Ben still, so that's super awesome. And yeah, no, no code is going to be in San Francisco too, Manuel. They have a location, so it's going to be in San Francisco as well. Yeah, cool, cool. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day. Have a great weekend. Nelson, let's keep in touch. I have your email, so we'll be in touch and see what other things. Oh, it's all virtual now. Really? Okay. I did not know. Wow. Okay. So I'll be at No Code Conf 100%. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. And yeah, for sure. Happy to help, Dale. Yeah, I appreciate you asking questions, and I can feel like you definitely have some good questions. So, yeah. Thanks, Nelson. See ya. Yeah. Okay, that's news to me. I did not know that. So, No Code Conf is online only. Cool. All right. Yeah, we could keep talking for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it. I'll see everyone on Monday. So again, it's Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central. And yeah, we're going to continue to build layouts and animations in Webflow. And I might make an interaction video this weekend, so stay tuned for that. And I do have a new template coming out soon as well, and I'll be making a video on that. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Thank you.